what I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani. We are living right now in a rat's nest. We don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. This is horrible. We're literally an uncivilized country now. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy.
Every single thing he said is a lie. I was recently in France for D-Day, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
He made that up. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up, and he brought it up. Suckers and losers. Russia, Russia, Russia. The 51 intelligence agents are made up. The 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. That came from his son, Hunter. The suckers and losers. So he should apologize to me right now.
You said it, period. The idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. And they now are in their family.
Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And so he's got no love lost. For the most embarrassing moment, no general, 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. You know why? Because Iran was broke. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for anything. This place, the whole world is blowing up.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage recently, not when he was president. They attacked. We got over 100,000 Americans and others out of if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done.
Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly.
Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? So if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do. Funding for Ukraine. That's why we're strong.
Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. On January 6th, we had a great border all over the world, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. Horrible.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said documentary filmmaker, they say. But she's saying, oh, no, in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing. They turned it down. I could see. I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. She turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill. 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. You know, they've been convicted and say that no. They said, no. He didn't do a damn thing. And now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Immediately, this whole subject is so off. One other thing, we were right. They should go to jail for that.
President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part. Every one of those who were convicted deserves to be convicted. Turn them over statues. The idea, come on, the idea he's refusing to, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. My retribution is going to be success at a very high level. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. We're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. That's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong.
Well, you want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. The crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant. I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
I didn't have sex with a porn star. He basically went after his political opponent. My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. Any campaign, I don't think any campaign, the public knows it's a scam.
How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. Over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing. Well, the whole idea, we invented those chips, and we lost it to find the cheapest jobs overseas. So I went to South Korea. Guess what? To build these chips, you don't need a college degree for them. From all over the world. I never heard a president talk like this before. Name me a single major country president, all of our allies, and those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong-un, he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't want to screw around with us.
What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
You know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie.
I was at 8 handicap.
Yeah,
8.
never.
But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
you know
let's
how
not
many
act like
rounds-
children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
turn
Let's
Right.
not act like children.
You
to
are
a
a child.
specific. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Well, I shouldn't have to say that. It's totally unacceptable. But the answer is, I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again because of him. Insane. They're insane. He will drive us into World War III. All of these, Putin, they have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III, just do what you want. The idea, they're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed. We're needed. And again, we're needed. You want to have a war, then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, this man right here with me, and he's going to take Ukraine. With Ukraine and Russia, he said, I will never settle until such time, all because of him and stupid decisions.
The question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
I wasn't really going to run. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again, unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level.
Well, let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner. I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.